I've been chasing this dream so long. Lord help me, I know that I gotta stay strong.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video of Dream Team Garage. If you haven't seen my last video, it's going to be in the right or left hand corner. Click on that link and you can go ahead and watch that video. If not, stay and watch this one, then you can go ahead and watch that video. So for this video, we're going to go ahead and tidy up the rest of the gauges. We got to finish doing the rest of the gauge wiring, put the gauges back together, and check and see if they work. Also, the car is still jacked up in the air, and it's kind of going to stay like that for a while until I finish doing the valve lash. If we get to it tonight, I'll show you how to adjust the valve lash. But other than that, we're just going to jump in and start doing the gauges. Alrighty. So far what I've done is I've drilled a couple holes. Some people may get mad, some people may not, depending on how they like their third gens and their Camaros and cars and whatnot. Me, I love my third gen, but at the same point, my dash is already cracked, so I could kind of care less. My dash is cracked there, and I don't know if that's supposed to be there, but it's lifted. But yeah, so what I did is I drilled a hole there, and ran my wires just to make everything a little bit quicker. This is for my the lights that go in the back. What I'm doing with these is I've already, oh shit. So let me get the light over here. So there's the water pressure gauge, or the water temp gauge, I'm sorry. The reason why I needed the water temp gauge on this side, due to the fact that this capillary tube was not long enough to reach. Oh jeez, I'm sliding. Was not able to reach from here to where I needed it to go on the engine block, which I'll show you in just a minute. Which is just the original port on the driver's side where the knock sensor can go in the water hole. So what I'm doing is that this is my headlight switch right here. So when I pull this, my headlight comes on. So I drilled into the side here and put made the wire longer, drilled a hole, stuck it through. Now the wire is right here. I have to attach this wire, which is already to these lights that are over here. But I'm attached these two wires to the switch that turns on my headlights. So I had a 2016 Ford Fusion that I did this to, something similar to this, except it had the auto headlights. What I did was I tapped into that auto headlight sensor wire and ran my blue underglow lights off of that. And I liked it a lot. I'm going to do it to this as well. Eventually, I'm going to change this whole pull button knob shit completely out. I'm going to change it to something completely different. I don't like that at all. That's stupid. But yeah, I had to take the faceplate off to the gauges to get the gauge out. Now I gotta take the dash pad out to hook up that wire because the plug is faced up from manufacturer instead of face down, which is weird because all that room you got right there to stick your hand into and pull out some wires happens to be faced up. So what I had to do is I had to pull the actual gauges out, the cluster, stick my hand behind there, release this knob. There's a release button behind there to release the knob. Then I'll be able to reach back there and get the wires. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But if we get into that tonight, that'd be awesome. If not, we still got this gauge installment, and then we're still gonna check and see if everything kind of works. So stay tuned for that, guys. So now that we're in the inside of the car with no seat, thank you Jesus, that crap was impossible to do with the seat in. So what we're gonna do is start with the volt gauge. This is the red wire is the power, the brown and red wire is the ground. Stole the ground from a ground spot inside the battery cubby, and then the red wire is coming from the ignition. So that's how we're gonna get our voltage read out on our gauge. And don't know if you hear the rain, but it's starting to rain now. Great. But I got these gauges. They're pretty cheap off Amazon for about $32, something like that. They're mechanical gauges. I want to get electrical gauges, but that's in a future video. When I do end up dropping into LS, I'll end up doing electrical gauges. But some connectors from O'Reilly's to connect these to the back of the terminals on the gauges, on the volt gauge. So the 2 sets we're gonna use, well, it's actually really a 1 set, because I don't know if you see how tiny that is, but that's a real tiny ignition and ground. Well, it says I from, you know, but whatever. You know, these are really small, so we're just gonna slide those on there after we crimp them and do everything we need to do to the gauges, or the wires, sorry. So it doesn't really matter what wire you start with. You start with your ground or your positive. Here it is. First thing you want to do, find a pretty good length. Leave yourself some slack, a little bit of room. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do is we'll cut it about, let's say right here. Yeah, I could be using dikes or needle nose pliers with the cutter in the middle, but I'm just going to go ahead and use my old trusty wire slicers, since they do the same job. I don't know how even that is, but we're pretty close, pretty even. Where did I put that red connector at? Found it, it was in my lap. So what I do is before I actually like put a real dimple crimp in it, I flatten the crimp out with just using the this little flattening bit instead of cutting it. You know, I almost did cut it, which I actually did right there a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But it's all right, I just cut the plastic on it. It's all gravy. So now what I'm gonna do is, I did that to hold it. Now I'm gonna put a dimple in it. Bang. That's one down, and it's pretty tight. I don't want to keep tugging on it because inside this groove is actually pretty sharp. I would solder this together and everything, but this isn't permanent. This is pretty much temporary until I do all my LS stuff that I want to do. This is just to get the car running and driving and mobile, just in case in the near future, if I do get a house, that I don't have to trailer this to my new house. Now what you want to do with these nuts, because they're so tiny, put them somewhere safe that you're not going to lose them, or forget where you accidentally put them and they be in your lap and you stand up and they fall into a crevice that you're never going to get them out of. You know, shit happens. Ignition. Ground. So what I'm doing is getting them finger tight. So what I'm doing is getting them finger tight until I can get them, you know, back in the hoe. But I get them finger tight, and then I come over with the little monkey wrench, or adjustable wrench, whatever you guys call it. Tighten them down. Not too tight. I mean, just tight enough to where if they have some vibration to it, it's not gonna come loose. You know what I mean? Hey, Mr. Sneezy, you're interrupting my video. Alright. And you see what? Bang, she's so pretty. No? Okay. Ow, my kneecap. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is plug this light back in on the oil pressure gauge. Actually, no, I'm not, because I want to take the oil pressure gauge off. I want to show you guys something that I did wrong. Not really wrong, I just should have noticed it before I did it, so I don't have to do it. But this black line right here is my oil pressure line. Well, it's running in front of where my well, not in front, behind where, and it's going to get pinched in this bracket that's back here. So I don't need that, and I don't want that, because this is the oil pressure line. Oil is going to be going through here. Oil gets hot. This line possibly could melt, but I don't plan on having it in that long, so for that to happen. But this is the line that came with the kit. This is actually a common thing that happens to these things. These crack over time, they break over time. Even sometimes the oil pressure could actually just bust these. So that's why mainly I want to go with a mechanical gauge setup. Not mechanical, electrical gauge setup, I'm sorry. So other than that, I had to take the fitting off from the back of that to reroute it behind that bracket that's back there. So hopefully these are finger tight like I thought they were. If not, yeah, I'm not even gonna try that. I'm just gonna go ahead and get them undone. There we go. There's one. There's the other. Always keep track of your tiny little watchers. So now we can pull the oil pressure gauge out. Actually, what I want to do is stuff some line actually in there. Okay, we're gonna start from down here first. Now, yes, I did keep the whole line. Just for, like I said, I wasn't really planning on keeping this set up for a very long time, so I didn't really care about cutting the line. So yeah, but what I gotta do is take this fitting off, reroute it. Oh shit. We'll figure it out. I just seen my my problem there. That's nice. There you go. Took a razor blade to it, chopped it right off real quick. Just a little. Well, first off, start with a sharp razor blade, and they'll cut straight through it with no issues. What's up, son? Oh, there should be another one on the table bed. Oh wow. Now time for the fitting. I don't know if you guys see that, but the fitting's going back on there. It's really tight though. But it's going. Ah shit. I forgot to put the nut on first. There you go. What I like to do is stick it in there and butt them together. I'm saying. Push on the back end of the tube to make sure everything goes in properly. Try to make it a little. Push on the back end of the tube, make sure everything stays in properly. Pull the nut over. Start tightening the nut down. And then now that it's tight, go ahead and tighten it up even more. Me, I like to be Hercules with things and tighten them really tight, and that's how they snap sometimes. So I've learned that from long past experiences of being me. Well, as you see, that gauge is in there. Now I just gotta put those two backing plates on for both those gauges. Did I hit the camera? I think so. Damn, I'm beefing with the camera now. I'm gonna start with the oil pressure one just because it's in my face. I gotta find the backing plate to that. I'm not saying I lost it, but you know what I'm saying? I'm saying I don't know where it's at now. Yeah. Get everything loosely on there, and you can readjust everything. Trust me, losing a washer right now would fucking blow, like I'm about to do. Especially if yours didn't come with a spare, but mine came with a baggie full of spares. That one took a minute. I don't know if you guys noticed that. leave that straight. There we go, give it a little bit of slack. It was looking kind of tight there. That's how I like it. Ain't that right, Josh? The tighter the better, you know what I'm saying? Oh, time to break it. Bro, I don't know about you, but I'm starting to sweat in this motherfucker. I didn't know sitting inside the Camaro would be this damn deadly. Wrong one. Slightly pull these back through, you know what I'm saying? Before I do all that. Oh, I was going the wrong way. I do. Camera down. I think we're safe now. I'm sorry, camera. I didn't mean to disrespect you like that. Don't beat me up. Not too tight, just so you know that no vibration is going to wiggle them loose. I want to do this side because I just unloosened it with my fingers. So obviously it wasn't tight enough. But as you see, it's already fucking tight fit. There we go. Oh, my toesies. Now we're going to check and see if the volt gauge works. Obviously the lights aren't plugged up yet, so the lights are not going to work, but we're just going to go ahead and plug them into the back of the base. This is what I meant by the back of those things are sharp, if you can see my fingernail. If not, get caught onto my fingernail and put a little groove in it. Oh, I need to bring out some wire. Don't worry, that's not going to stay like that for much longer. Well, I wouldn't say much longer. It won't be like that for a while. Everything's just going to stay like that till the LS is in. Then a bunch of stuff is going to be changing because I will be gutting the inside, respraying the insulation on the inside just with some special stuff because I do like to not hear a lot of road noise, but I like to keep my music in because I like music. I like muscle, I like sound, so there's going to be a lot of things we're going to be doing to this car. And then in the future, as I also talked about, we're going to create a drift model of this, and we're going to be trying to do some things. Try to move up to the top, you know what I mean? Goals for 2020. I believe my original volt gauge on my dash is gonna work due to the fact that I took the faceplate off. I just think it was stuck. So, we'll see. And 1, 2, 3. That worked. My original volt gauge didn't. Why you no worky? But you work. So that's all I care about. And it works very well too. Obviously the water temp's not gonna work, and neither is the oil pressure until I crank the motor over. Other than that, I mean, I probably could do that because I have to do the lifter or the valve lash anyway, so I could probably test the oil pressure just by pulling out the pink wire, which is my ignition wire to the distributor, and test that, but the water temp I really can't test until I warm up the car, obviously. Alrighty, Dream Team Garage, that's going to end this video. I did say I was going to do the valve blast, but I'm going to save that for a separate video. You can do this gauge swap or gauge install to any car, your new car, old car. Really want to do it to a new car, no reason to. But any old car you find that doesn't have gauges, or if the gauges are not working properly, you can just go to your local auto store, O'Reilly's or anything like that, and either order them online, or you can go, like I said, to the store and get them. They're just more expensive if you go to the store than they are online, just like, you know, it's a convenience fee. But other than that, that's how you kind of install some gauges. If you don't care about the plastics, you can just drill through them. That's all I got to say for right now. We might pick up another video right after this, but that's all I got for right now. Dream Team Garage, have a good one. Deuces.